everybody, it's Dayna Martin, community producer for Anarchapulco. How is everybody tonight? I'm so excited to share with you a wonderful discussion that I'm about to have with Gina Carr. Hey, Gina. Thanks for
so happy to be here.
Yeah, this is so exciting. You and I have so much in common, and we've known each other for so long now, 5 years, since the first Anarchapulco. You've come to every one, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah, I can remember meeting you and Terry like so early on and just thinking you guys were so amazing. And I really love your energy and I love being around you. So this year at Anarchapulco, you're talking on the main stage. That's huge.
So excited.
Yeah. Why don't you share with everybody what you're talking about? And yeah, let's just get the conversation started.
Well, what I'll be talking about is the ethics of eating animals and how the non-aggression principle applies to non-human animals. I'm very passionate about this topic. I've had some personal experiences that have just caused me to understand how important this is for our world, for our health, for the planet, for the animals, of course. And so it's been wonderful for me, and I want to share what I've learned with others.
That's so great. Yeah, veganism seems to be a really kind of hot topic in the anarchist community. I know that there's people that are so on board with it. They agree that animals in the NAP are not separate from humans. We have Verde Vegan coming full on this year with a full restaurant offering food the entire time. The hotel is offering vegan food. We're having, wasn't there something else going on, like a vegan information booth that'll be there at the event?
I hope so. Yes, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I've been talking to people about that. So last year we did the Cube of Truth also, didn't we?
We're planning that again.
Are you?
Maybe even multiple times.
That is so powerful.
Tell people what the Cube of Truth is, because I've heard about it, but I have not participated. Could you just share a little bit about what that is? Because I think people will find it interesting.
Yeah. So the Cube of Truth is with an organization called Anonymous for the Voiceless. My daughter Ivy is almost 14, and she and I have been involved with Anonymous for the Voiceless for probably almost 2 years now. And so what they do is they do performance art, and they go into public spaces, and people hold, whether it's an iPad or a laptop or a sign, sharing about factory farming and showing footage of factory farming to just show people what goes on behind these windowless, doors of these windowless buildings of factory farming. And so it's really just educating people, but it's not an in-your-face kind of thing. Like no one's approaching anybody and making them feel bad or necessarily handing out anything. We do have things like pamphlets if somebody asks for it, but it's a very gentle and artistic approach to advocacy. And it actually was kind of hard for me to do at first, but because of my daughter and wanting to facilitate her passion for animals and animal cruelty, that I did it. I pushed myself. So we do it regularly. Once a month, we go to the big city of Portland, Maine. We join the group and we protest things like circuses and fairs that have like pig scrambles. And so Anonymous for the Voiceless and the Cube of Truth will be at Anarchapulco this year.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, we're planning for it at least for Thursday at lunch and maybe more.
That's so great. Part of what we do is we wear masks. And it just so happens to be, the mask from V for Vendetta. Is that the movie? What's the guy?
V for Vendetta, yes.
Yeah. What's the guy? What's the mask?
Guy Fawkes. It's the guy.
Yes. And so it's kind of funny because that goes with anarchy anyway. But those are the masks that we wear for the Cube of Truth because you're anonymous. And so it is kind of this selfless thing where you're just wearing a mask, you're wearing all black, and you're just part of this performance art. So I'm really excited that we're going to have it this year. And I'm so excited that your talk is going to be on the main stage, bringing awareness to people. This is so important.
Well, I was fortunate enough to talk about it on the main stage a couple of years ago. And so a lot of people said that they really got a lot out of it. Many people said that they did start eating a lot more plants and fewer animals. And some have actually gone vegan and, communicated to me that they're experiencing a lot of health benefits and they just feel better and they just feel so much lighter in life. I think that's one of the things that happens when you stop eating animals. I had no expectation that was going to happen, but it's just a much, there's less guilt. There's less, I didn't even know there was a layer of guilt. I knew that I didn't like the fact that animals died for me to eat a hamburger or a hot dog or whatever that was. The animal version, I eat those now, is the plant-based versions. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was necessary. And so I did it. I did not know any better. And that's one of the things that I love about Anarchapulco is that, there's so many things in the world that a lot of people just take for granted. And the people in Anarchapulco have awakened in so many ways, especially to statism and to just the government control over our lives and all the different things that are going on in our world that so many people take for granted. And once you wake up and you realize this doesn't have to be that way, then the world becomes a different place. And that's what I hope to help people do as it relates to eating animals, which will provide, again, much significant health benefits for them. I mean, I'm compassionate about the animals, but I'm compassionate about fellow people. I mean, every time I go on Facebook and I see a post of somebody who I've just been diagnosed with breast cancer, or my husband just died of a heart attack, or whatever things happen, I'm like, oh my gosh, this just does not have to happen. There's a better way. There's a way for us to live and a way for us to thrive. Save the animals, save yourselves. And when I see those things, I'm just so angry with myself that I haven't done more to get the message out about the different way that people can live without eating animals.
Wow, that's so beautiful, Gina. Yeah, I'm thinking about what you just said about when you felt lighter. I think it was Ellen DeGeneres. I heard her on her show once talking about why she decided to go vegan. And what she said made perfect sense to me. She said that there's no way that you can consume the flesh of something that's been tortured and miserable and suffering its whole life and not have that energy affect you. And that really hit home, and it really spoke truth to me. I know not everybody in our audience believes in the whole energy and new agey kind of stuff, and people kind of tend to excuse half of our community to being like this hippie kind of thing. But really, it's been proven with science. Quantum physics has shown that the energy, when you're consuming things with a certain energy, it does affect you. So there have been studies showing that people have less depression. And there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, animal products aren't good for you. They're containing the suffering of animals, the pain of animals. And so even if you're not totally aware of it, it does on some level affect you. So yeah, I mean, you feel lighter from having a more positive intake, more positive energy that you're consuming. So, and also I think just we don't give enough, focus on the importance of living foods. Like you said, plants. When you consume living foods, the living enzymes really help energize you. We're meant to. We're living and we consume other living foods. It's really, really healthy. But I'll tell you, and you know this because we're in the same groups, we're on the same boards, we're sharing information with the same people. It is really, really debated. People get very upset when you start talking about what they're eating, what they're putting in their mouths. So I feel like I totally embrace wherever anybody is in our community on this path. I don't hate people that eat meat. I don't judge for the sake of, I ate meat for, my goodness, the first 35 years of my life. Standard American diet, Burger King Whoppers every Thursday. I grew up on meat. I mean, you can only meet people where they're at. So I really like that you're getting the information out there. I encourage people that aren't even interested in veganism to go and just hear, to be able to have some compassion toward the vegan community, because we're not all the in-your-face kind of criticizing, judging vegans like you hear so loudly online. I love my mother eats meat. I don't judge her. I don't feel any less. I will sit with her while she orders it. I support her. I will go and get her when I'm visiting her, go and pick up milk and cheese for her. Like, she's in a different place. So I just want to share with everybody that please don't think that this is something you're going to come to and feel guilt and shame and pain and judge. No, that's not what Gina's about. I know her. I know how she educates. She just wants to offer you information so you can have true informed consent. And that's what it's about.
Absolutely. We think that what we eat is our choice, but is it your choice when you're a young person and let's just say you're Catholic, or you're a Democrat, or you're a Republican, or you're wherever it is your religion is, or your political philosophy? Many people are that because their parents were. And that's what their parents taught them. And that's what they thought was normal. And that's what they thought was maybe even necessary. And that's what they thought was natural. But there's so many things, including the choices that we make to eat, that are just, we think they're normal, but they're not. In India, people are killed for killing a cow.
Right.
People, for killing a cow. And here people kill cows and eat cows all the time. In France, of course, they eat horses. Mm-hmm. People don't think about this, but they eat horses. In America and much of the developed world, we don't think about eating horses. And in Asia, they eat dogs by the millions.
Oh, I just got back from China, and I can attest to that. They do.
It's horribly sad. You think about in America, we would go to a seafood restaurant, and in the front they'll have lobsters in the tank, and you pick the lobster that you want. Well, in Korea, they have puppies. They have 8-month-old puppies, because that's the prime, thought to be the prime time. You go to the cage, you pick out the puppy that you want, they take it to the back, and let's just say that you can hear what's happening. Literally, they beat it to death, because that's thought to bring out the cortisol and the adrenaline that they think is healthy to put into their body. So, I don't want to gross everybody out, but I just want you to think about the fact that maybe what we're doing is not so normal. Why is it that we're eating these things and not these things? So, let's, in the spirit of Anarchapulco, of critically thinking about the decisions that you're making, the choices that you make in your life, I just hope that my story can help to open some eyes and open some hearts and minds, and that, people will give it a try even.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because I think everybody comes to veganism or this awareness for different reasons. You're coming at it for this particular talk from like animal, I don't know if you'd say animal liberation. What is the title of your talk again?
I'm calling it the ethics of eating animals. Yeah. And my premise is that the non-aggression principle should apply to all animals, including non-human animals.
Right. So yours are for like animal rights and the NAP, which is a really motivating, incredible reason for becoming vegan. For example, some people become vegan for health reasons. Some people don't even care about animal rights. They don't really care about that. They just want to be healthier. I can't understand being that way. Actually, when I first came to veganism, it wasn't that I didn't care about animals, but that wasn't my first motivation. Mine was health. Because I had heard you could lose weight and that it was so good for you. And I was raw vegan for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. I turned back the hands of time. I literally took probably, a lot of time. When you look at pictures of me from like 10 years ago, I look older than I do now. And I really believe that was my health and wellness. So it started there. Because of my daughter, Ivy, I became more focused on animal rights and compassion and all of that. But, so there's different arguments against these different things. Some people feel as though, like the environment, my son Devin is vegan for the environment solely. He even jokes about whatever with the animals. I want to save the planet, and I know what destruction is happening. And so I think that's a really important thing, is that honoring everybody comes at it for different reasons. What's your motivation? You're presenting one avenue to come at it from for people to hear and learn from. There's many other ways and many other things that we're doing to benefit ourselves and the earth through veganism. So yeah, it's so wonderful.
My story is similar. A few years ago, I was a good bit heavier than I am now. To be very clear, over 50 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was in that category where I was almost at the obese category. And I knew, you don't have to look very far to know there's a lot of really bad health problems that are going to come when you move into the obese category. And, besides the vanity issues, I hated seeing my pictures on Facebook. I hated walking down an airplane aisle and seeing people look at me and thinking they're saying, I hope the fat girl doesn't sit next to me. There's a lot that goes into being really heavy. And so out of basically desperation, someone said, why don't you do a juicing diet and I call it a juice fest. So I did juicing basically for 30 days where I did only juices and raw fruits and vegetables for 30 days. I dropped 20 pounds in 30 days. I felt fantastic. I had energy. My skin was glowing. And so it just occurred to me, if I feel this great just eating fruits and vegetables, can I just eat fruits and vegetables all the time? And that sparked me into all kinds of research, really digging into this. My undergraduate degree is industrial engineering, and then I have an MBA from Harvard. And so I'm real analytical. I get into the numbers, I get into the research, and I found resources, including one of my favorite, I got to show you one of my favorite books here. It's called How Not to Die.
Oh, I buy that book for friends, actually. That's so funny.
I buy it for everybody, and I send everybody to the website, nutritionfacts.org. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing because it talks about the top 15 diseases and killers in America, and how they're all affected by eating animals. And you will have much less chance of heart disease, brain disease, lung disease, kidney disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, what else? Cancers, most of the cancers, breast cancer, prostate cancer. All of these things that we just take for granted. Oh, you get older, you're going to have high blood pressure. No. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to have high blood pressure. And there are people in the world, several groups of people that live, and they don't even have these things. Nobody ever dies of heart disease in their communities because they eat mostly plants. And they do some other things that are healthy too. And they also don't eat a lot of processed foods, highly processed foods. But there is another way to live and to think about these things.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's so true. I'm so excited that you're going to be doing this year, because I think a lot of people are ready. They want to make the change. And Verde Vegan, I know in the past, I think they're probably going to do it this year, but they offer juices, and some people choose to do a juice fast the whole time they're at Anarchapulco. So they offer that. They do tons of freshly squeezed juices. So yeah, juicing is kind of what gets a lot of people started. So losing weight, and when you see what it does to your skin and how good you feel, I think people are so afraid that they're going to be missing out. They don't realize how delicious vegan food can be. People say to me all the time, oh, enjoy your salad. Like, I actually don't eat many salads. I eat a lot of different things. And so I became a raw vegan chef about 6 years ago. And I started a raw vegan catering business and to educate people. And so people will hire me to go in their house, to go in their home, and they'll throw a party, invite their friends over, and I will do a bunch of food demos. And I just want to show people how delicious vegan can be if you know how to do it. So one particular party I do that's really popular is called Dude Food. And I do it for guys for football games, for example. Their wives will have me come over, somebody will hire me, and I'll do all vegan spread for real hardcore dude meat eaters, just to show them that there can be a difference. And almost every single time, the guys are blown away that there were no animal products in it, because there's so many great alternatives now, and they're not highly processed. Some are. You can definitely get into the highly processed vegan kind of scene, but I know how to do it, so that's not the case. So it's possible. You just need help and support. So last year I did a raw vegan cooking class. I'm not doing that this year, but just open your mind to trying these foods. Go to Verde Vegan, try their stuff. If you're not vegan, just go and have one meal there. Check it out, taste it. They're so amazing. Are you excited that Verde Vegan's going to be there again?
Oh, of course. Yes, I absolutely love Verde Vegan. It's so fantastic. People can try a lot of different foods. I mean, people who have no idea that they would even like vegan food come away saying, oh my gosh, these burritos, these tacos, these all of these, I think they have a burger, all the different options that they have are just fantastic. So I'm absolutely thrilled that you guys have made it possible for them to be there and to have a full kitchen, I guess. And
it's going to be like a restaurant with tons of tables. It's going to be wonderful. So they have a huge staff coming this year. I think of 12 people, they said. So the lines won't be quite as long as they've been in the past. They're going to have a really quick turnover. They're going to have an incredible menu. I'm really looking forward to that. So yes.
Just a tip. I don't know if they'll do it this year, but in the last year, I would submit my order at the morning break. And so I would just go back at lunch and pick it up. So that worked well for me. But, to your point about food, people say to me, I can't go vegan. I don't like tofu. I'm like, I don't eat tofu very often. No. If I go to a restaurant and they happen to have it, I might have it. But you don't have to eat tofu. All food has protein. Watermelon has protein. Right. And pound for pound, there are a lot of dark green vegetables in particular that have more protein than the animal products that you're consuming that you think you have to consume to be healthy. And a couple of books, a book there that I would recommend is called Proteinaholic. It's absolutely amazing to hear from a guy who is a doctor who actually originally wrote a book about that you should eat a lot of animal protein. And he's a doctor who does bariatric surgery, and his patients would have their bariatric surgery. They would eat the way he recommended to them. And then they'd come back in a few years, they were all big and fat again. So he had to do the research for his own health as well as for his patients. And then to write this next book called Proteinaholic, where he lays out that this is just craziness that we've experienced, and we've been brainwashed by big government, because big government gets a lot of money from big farm, and big cow has a lot more money than big broccoli. Yeah. And big pharma, they want you to stay just sick enough that you can keep buying their medicines. And big pharma is funding the medical schools, so the medical schools don't learn much about nutrition of all things. I mean, what is our human body supposed to do? We're not supposed to just treat symptoms. We're supposed to heal from within. And the way you and I eat, we eat these healing, natural, delicious foods that we can replicate most anything that we used to love before we were vegan. Just last night I had vegan sushi. Sushi is one of my favorite foods. I just have a vegan version now. I loved chicken wings. Well, I do cauliflower wings now. It's the sauces, it's the taste and the combinations that people like. It's not necessarily that it's on a dead animal.
No, because if somebody was just to eat a piece of raw chicken, they would gag. You need to season the crap out of meat to make it taste good. You just take the same seasoning and put it on non-animal products. It tastes just as good, guys. I swear. Believe me when I say that. What is just a plain old steak without salt? It doesn't taste very good. So I have the experience of having been both carnivore and vegan, and feeling the difference within my body, within my soul, within just the way that I approach life. And if I can do it, you can do it. I'm serious. So this is amazing awareness. I think we're really going to bring this message to people that want to hear it, that are embracing a healthier lifestyle, a more ethical lifestyle, a lifestyle that will help save the environment, which I know a lot of anarchists are really concerned about. So, well, thank you, Gina, so much for sharing all of this with me tonight. Why don't you tell me, what are you most looking forward to at Anarchapulco this year?
Oh, boy. I'm most looking forward to sharing this message, honestly. I'm also really looking forward to seeing the friends that I've made over the years. It's our big family reunion. It's the place where you can go and talk to people, and you don't have to tell them, how are the roads going to get paved, and just so many people that think and talk, and you have thoughtful discussions, and my eyes are constantly being open to new ways of thinking and new things. So I just love it. It's a fantastic event, and I'm so grateful to be part of it. Have been there every year. I hope to be there every year still. And actually, at the very first one, I was not fully vegan. I was on my journey. It was just a couple months after that I did become fully vegan, because I just, a number of things that I'll be sharing more on the stage. And tonight we've really talked about the food and the health benefits a lot, and de-aging, which is a term you shared with me. On the stage, I'll be talking more about the different components of the animals that I think we need to be thinking about. Why does the NAP apply to humans and not to non-human animals? And so I really want to go through some of that, and I'm looking forward in the groups in the weeks that, between now and the time that we get to Anarchapulco, to sharing some thoughts and videos and resources in the different groups, so that we can get this discussion going, and it's already going, and so look down below too for different resources that we'll be sharing.
Yeah, great. We're going to post some great resources. You can join the Vegans of Anarchapulco page if you're interested in doing so. So thank you so much, Gina. I think that many of us on this path, I know for myself and others I know, we're always trying to push compassion out in ever-widening circles, whether it is with adopting a more compassionate mindset toward animals, or whether it's about something else. We're always growing. We're works in progress. We're never done. And anarchists are craving more and more expansion and growth and more compassion into their lives and understanding and healing. So this is a really important piece. So I look so forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Oh my goodness, 3 weeks away now, a little over 3 weeks. It's going to be amazing. We will see you at Anarchapulco in just a couple weeks. Peace, love, plants.
not wanting to use violence against people and not wanting to steal and extort them.
And they try to tell us that the liberty movement is dead. That's a bunch of baloney. It's alive and well.
All freedom is our natural and eternal right.
And shout this message about what real liberty and freedom mean, but for everybody.
And I think that we should start a revolution here today.
Peace, love, and answer.